I mean, Joe was just on Kill Tony, and they had on Kyle Dunnigan, who was impersonating Elon, and Joe looked like he was thinking, man, I hope Elon doesn't get offended by this, because I'm sure Elon's already constantly coping over Tim Dillon making fun of.
What's going on, you guys? Today we have Joe Rogan getting slammed by his own fans. They can see that he hates Elon Musk, that he's afraid to say it. I'm playing a clip from the Kyle Kulinski show to give a little bit of context, as well as giving some of my commentary. Let's watch.
The Joe Rogan sphere, the whole podcast circuit, it's a group of people who, for the most part, it's a hug box with Rogan. So, like, you go on there, people mostly agree with each other. You talk about how wokeness is bad in 48 different ways. You shit on college kids. You talk about the crazy times we're in, bro. You can't even tell a joke anymore, bro. There's a lot of that stuff going on. There's a lot of, like, soft Trump support, if not outright Trump support. And that's the general vibe. Now, of course, there are exceptions to that. You got a guy like Bill Burr, who's been friends with Joe Rogan forever. They came up at, like, the exact same time. They have the exact same profession, and Bill Burr has no problem sort of getting into it and disagreeing and jousting and stuff like that. But usually it's a hug box. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am very happy to report to you that there is one area where Rogan goes proudly that his comedian friends refuse to go. Namely, they despise Elon Musk. I have to admit, this makes all the other characters much more likable because you know what it's like with Rogan. Rogan he's the biggest Elon cuck on the planet. Like, he really seems to genuinely think, oh, this guy's got such a big brain, and he's so smart, and I could never fucking compare to him, and I feel so stupid, and my brain feels so puny around him. Meanwhile, Elon Musk is like a socially maladjusted, autistic weirdo with incredible PR that he's used his whole career to try to convince everybody he's a genius and he's amazing at business, when in reality, it's all a fucking, like, it's literally all a myth. He didn't even found Tesla. Everybody thinks, like, yeah, this guy was a founder of Tesla. No, he wasn't. He fucking forced his way in at Tesla. Don't take my word on any of this. You go type into YouTube, Thunderfoot Elon Musk, and watch every video that Thunderfoot did on Elon Musk, and you'll see how this guy is a colossal fraud. He's a liar. He's a scam artist. He's a fraud. He's committed countless crimes. He always overpromises and underdelivers. And he's just a fucking power-hungry, narcissistic freak.
And I'm playing this part of the clip to bring up complaints about Elon Musk. I mean, I'm sure everyone has their own complaints and what they do not like about Elon Musk. If you guys think of some, let me know, I guess, if you want to. But for me, he's just unrelatable. That's the biggest thing, is that he just comes across as a huge spaz. Yeah, even if the entire right side is worshiping damn near, he's weird. He doesn't come across as a person. He's more, I think him and Zuckerberg are also, they're both in competition for who's more, robotic. But yeah, I mean, it's very, very hard to relate to somebody like Elon Musk.
And it looks to me, based on this video that we're about to watch, that Rogan's comedian buddies, they see that for what it is. Whereas Rogan is still living under this delusion that Elon is, like, gonna fucking save the world. All right, so here we go. Let's dive into it, and we'll break it down as we go.
Of the rich people that I've seen in my life or have met, the tech people are by far the creepiest.
Absolutely.
And their intentions are by far the worst. I don't think they care, not only about America, I don't think they're fans of humanity.
Totally,
You
dude.
shouldn't get so crazy rich that you go, how do I terraform another planet?
Yeah.
It just shows you the emptiness of money, which
Right.
life is not about having lots of money. What Elon has done, I think, has exposed that there is no amount of money, no amount of money that you can give a human being where they won't Heil Hitler for kicks.
All right, so it looks like some of Joe Rogan's closest comedy friends have been trashing Elon Musk, which I'm sure is making Joe really uncomfortable, because obviously he's like one of the biggest Elon simps out there, and now a big part of his podcast is him just doing damage control and PR for Elon. But, even with all the glazing and ass-kissing Joe does, it's still not enough for Elon, and I'm sure he gets annoyed that Joe doesn't tell his friends to stop making fun of him. Like, Joe's got to be nervous about his comedy friends.
Elon does seem like one of those guys, right? Where he would, like, send Rogan a clip of Tim Dillon mocking him and be like, why can't you talk to him? He needs to stop. This is unfounded. Oh, this is great. This is a welcome turn, y'all. This is a welcome turn. Because you have to say, all of Rogan's right-leaning comedian buddies, they did go down the rabbit hole with him flirting with Trumpism, if not outright supporting Trumpism, right? And so they were gone, bro. They were gone mentally. They totally hitched their wagon to this guy who I just think they like the vibes and they think Trump is entertaining and they don't give a fuck about the policy. But seemingly, for the same reason they like Trump, the vibes, I think that's the same reason they don't like Elon. Because his vibes are fucking horrendous. I mean, truly the most deeply unlikable man on the planet.
Again, definitely let me know what you guys think is the worst Elon Musk moment you've ever seen, or just what you don't like about Elon Musk in general. I'm saying more or less personality wise. Of course, the dude is a con artist. Of course, you know, he is union busting. He doesn't really care about, you know, people in general. He's just out here for $1. We can go in all day about what he's actually doing, but we could talk about his personality. I saw him fake laugh at his phone one time, then look over his shoulder to see if Trump was paying attention. Utterly disgusting. Don't even want to, you know, imagine myself in a room with him, no matter how much money the dude has. I think I'd rather go get drinks with Bill Cosby than spend a second with Elon Musk.
Too hard on him and upsetting him and ruining their friendship, because I'm sure Joe knows Elon is really sensitive. I mean, recently the guy almost started crying because people were trolling him while he's playing video games. And then he needed all his Sims to tweet about it and help him get sympathy by acting like he just got horrifically bullied while playing video games. It's so funny. And also at the end of last year, Elon, he started begging people to post more positive content on Twitter because he couldn't handle how much he's getting made fun of. But obviously that didn't work. So
for everybody listening, podcast style, it says, this is a tweet from Elon Musk from December. I am constantly getting insulted on this platform. Bro, you're the richest man in the world. How about you go to shut the fuck upsville?
A week later, he changed the algorithm to promote more positive content, even though I don't think that really worked either. But Joe obviously knows Elon doesn't handle getting made fun of very well. I mean, Joe was just on Kill Tony, and they had on Kyle Dunnigan, who was impersonating Elon, and Joe looked like he was thinking, man, I hope Elon doesn't get offended by this, because I'm sure Elon's already constantly coping over Tim Dillon making fun of him. I mean, Tim's been trashing him like crazy, which Joe has to be stressed about.
Look, the thing about Elon is he's literally the world's richest man. He's illegally hacking into our government and stealing everybody's data and destroying every good thing our government does, right? Destroying the Social Security program. He destroyed the CFPB, which is the anti-scam police, which means he's siding with the scammers over the American people. And he also wants to live on Mars and put a chip in everybody's brain. This is like, you know, if you took away all the fucking PR and the marketing that Elon does for himself and the fanboys, this would look like a prime Alex Jones conspiracy thing where he points out how this guy wants to take over the world and he's the most evil man on the fucking planet. He's like a literal villain, like a villain from a superhero movie, right? And I think that's the vibe Tim Dillon gets, because Tim Dillon, he definitely leans right, and he was a fan of Alex Jones, and you get the sense that he thinks like, wait a second, prime Alex Jones shouldn't be sucking this guy's nuts. Prime Alex Jones would be fucking shredding this guy on a daily basis.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Elon complains about this to Joe, because obviously he gets offended very easily, and Tim has just been roasting the shit out of him. So since Joe's good friends with Tim and has him on the...
Let's not act too like Tim Dillon isn't sucking nuts. I mean, well, of course in real life, but I'm talking about even with the Trump administration. He's out here and he brought Steve Bannon on, didn't question him about one actual thing. You know, it's just like, come on. Tim Dillon is profiting off of the fact that America is dying, so of course he's going to take like an accelerationist take. He wants this whole thing to capsize. He wants the Carnival Cruise Line that we call America to run out of gas, to run out of pizza. He doesn't care. He's making money off of this. He's getting content. That's what he literally is, just a content creator. He's saying, speed this up, make it crazy. I mean, I like Tim Dillon. He's funny sometimes, but yeah, I mean, he's starting to show that he really just focused on one thing. And what's more American than that?
The podcast all the time. I'm sure Elon has tried to get Joe to tell Tim to stop making fun of him.
Legalize comedy. Yeah.
What kind of truck would Blade Runner drive? That was the design idea.
I mean, this is the problem with these people. What kind of truck would Blade Runner drive? I mean, we're just handing the whole entire world over to like fucking nerds and freaks. First of all, the Cybertruck's disgusting. We can all kind of admit that. It's a heinous...
Yes, it is. Thank you, Tim Dillon. Tim Dillon has to do a lot in my mind to make up for, giving JD Vance a hot stone massage on his podcast. He does. He's got a lot to do to make up for snuggling up to Trump, like Trump isn't a fucking robber baron fascist who's hell-bent on destroying this country. But this is a start. This is a start for Tim.
They explode. They go into trees and they explode and stuff. They're not good look. They don't look dignified or classy on the road. I don't know who that appeals to. Now, I understand there's man children out there that want to fly rockets to Mars because they can't fly their penis into a vagina. But I'm telling you right now, this is the grossest and cringiest shit anyone has ever seen in a very long time. And also, he's a guy that believes that we have to go to Mars and merge with AI and no longer be humans. And no one seems to question that. I don't think populism, as has been described, includes merging with machines and going to Mars. You're not, this isn't a movie where the movie ends with Elon putting you on his spaceship and going to Mars. You're not going to Mars. I'm sorry about that. These people are also the elites, which if people talk about the elites, and I talk about it myself. Because the elites are completely out of touch, but these elites are also out of touch. It's also out of touch to think that the biggest issue is let's go to Mars. Go talk to a working family that can't put food on the table. See how many times they mention Mars. I don't know why it's happening. And I disagree with close friends of mine who think Elon Musk is, the savior of, this is Jesus. If Jesus came back, he'd be Elon Musk. He'd come through South Africa and design cars that don't need gas and buy X. The guy's a billionaire who wants to go to Mars, and normal people are going, what the fuck is this? I can't get a knee operation.
God damn it. He's so talented, man. I want to... Tim Dillon, I wish he'd go full lefty. I wish he'd come home full left. Because he's so fucking...
The two types of people that I see that idolize this Elon Musk type of guy is it's either full on like tech bros, like your guy that's working either in Austin, Texas at one of these places or in Silicon Valley. And then you have the other guy who's sort of like a Patrick Bateman-esque type of person. And they're just, or the person that, at least is in love with this Patrick Bateman type of character. And they're in love with the power. They're in love that even this guy who's a complete, you could say, outcast from everybody, even he has a chance to run the world. And those are the two guys that I see that, really idolize this Elon Musk character. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. It's another day in the progressive way.